All right, now let's talk about basic sitting position and holding the guitar on your lap while you're going to play. Now, there's basically two ways you can go about this. Holding the guitar on your left leg or your right leg, all right? Letting the guitar rest on either your left or your right leg. Start off talking about the guitar on the right leg. And again, you can see the curve here, which some people refer to as the waist, but it's this curve right here before the big lower bow. That's the part that rests on your leg, okay? So now you can see I have the guitar resting on my right leg. This is probably the most common way that people sit with the guitar. Whether or not it's the best is open for debate. But this is the way that most people sit with the guitar. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm resting my right arm, my elbow, roughly in the area, of my elbow or my forearm, right here on the guitar, and that kind of stabilizes it over here, all right? And this still allows me, okay, to, from the wrist, from the elbow to do some strumming, but I'm also stabilizing the guitar, if you can see that right over here in this area, and that kind of keeps it steady. And that allows the left hand to kind of freely go up and down the neck like this, okay? The one thing I would watch out for if you're going to sit with the guitar on your right leg is make sure that the neck doesn't point too far down towards the floor, all right? Because I have students all the time that are like, I can't get the C chord. It's like, yeah, no wonder, the guitar neck's pointing towards the floor and you have to reach up and under and your hand gets all constricted. Try to, at the very least, have the guitar neck parallel to the floor. If you can even have it angled back just a little bit, that's okay. Now, another thing is that I have the guitar itself kind of angled back this way, all right, which allows me to see the instrument, all right, and kind of gives me a little better of a visual perspective of what's going on. You don't absolutely have to do that, but this is probably the most common way to sit with the guitar, what you're seeing right now, all right? Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm also going to put the guitar on my left leg, and I'm going to go into something that we call classical sitting position, all right? Now, classical guitarists, use the classical sitting position. Go figure, all right? The left leg is elevated, all right? I have my left leg right now stacked up on top of some books, okay? Classical guitarists use a footstool. But the idea is to elevate the left leg and then rest the same lower bow on the left leg, and it gives you this. Now, this is a really good way to sit if you get used to it, once you're used to it anyway. It elevates the neck, okay? That's the main thing that I like about it. It allows you to, really get good access to the neck with your left hand, all right? And that's going to make, wide stretches a little bit easier. It just allows really good access to the neck, all right? Now, again, the guitar is kind of tilted back towards me. It's resting up against my chest here at about maybe a 10 or 15 degree angle. The headstock is pretty close to eye level. And again, we access the neck like this. And as far as the right hand is concerned, it doesn't change a whole lot. The forearm does rest a little lower. Okay, before my elbow was kind of on the guitar like this, but now the forearm sort of rests here. And it kind of opens up the angle of the right arm at the elbow, which may take a little bit of strain off your shoulder. Now again, if you sit like this for a while, it may, your back may start to get sore, okay? So it's just a matter of personal preference, all right, whether or not you sit with the guitar on your left leg or your right leg. One thing that I do like about the classical sitting position as well is it sort of simulates how the guitar is going to hang around you when you stand up, when you use a strap. Now, that's the other thing I want to talk about. We're not really going to, demonstrate playing with a strap right now for these purposes, but it is a good idea for you to get a strap and to practice standing up. It's a really good idea for you to do that. If not all the time, that's understandable, but it is something that you want to get used to doing sooner rather than later, is playing standing up, because most of the time when you perform, you sit down. Again, it's not, the case 100% of the time, but, you've seen people, on the TV, performing, or, bands live, or, people are usually standing up. The thing is, if you get used to playing the guitar in the most standard sitting position with the guitar on your right leg, and then you go to stand up, the guitar is going to be positioned completely different. It's going to be over here. It's going to be, just the neck's all of a sudden going to be in a different spot, the body's going to be in a different spot, and it could become very disorienting to you. All right, so I recommend that you get a strap and just start to experiment with playing standing up as well as these basic sitting positions.